with class people like y'all. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And this was Captain Redneck talking on the Coyote Wrestling Rap Show right here on Waxy 790. Stay alert, and thank everybody down there in the state of Florida. You've been tremendous.
Thank you, Captain Redneck, Dick Murdoch. Hey guys, remember when years ago you used to go down to your favorite club or bar and watch those pay-per-view events on the big screen? Remember the fun you used to have, sharing with your friends, the good times, all the things that went on? Well, those days are back at Jams. Jams has recreated the glory days once again with over 40 television screens featuring all your favorite pay-per-view events, including boxing, martial arts, and don't forget, this coming week, the big Ultimate Fighting Championship number 8. That is the ultimate, the top of the crop. That doesn't get any better than that. This is going to be live next Saturday, December 16th at Jams. You know, don't sit home, watch another one of these 89-second boxing massacres that everybody knows what's going to happen. Join the crowd down at Jams. Jams is located at 1331 Washington Avenue on beautiful Miami Beach. You can call the guys over there at 532-6700 for directions, information. Let me tell you guys, it's a beautiful place. They have a huge menu featuring all your favorites. Once again, don't forget, that's Jams, South Florida's #1 choice for all of your pay-per-view sporting events and good times. Okay, we are going to welcome to the Kendall Toyota Wrestling Wrap Mr. Bob Meyrowitz. Bob is the promoter of the upcoming Ultimate Fighting Championship number 8. Bob, you with us?
Doing there.
We're doing great down here. I heard you had some nice weather.
Yeah, well, I heard you had some great weather, and I heard it's getting a little cold now.
Yeah, it's starting to. By the way, you are aware of the fact that the program that you are doing today will be getting you more publicity than Larry King Live.
Well, you don't have the senator on.
Yeah, well, I really want to, I mean, we haven't met, Bob, but I do want to congratulate you because I think that thing with Larry King made all those politicians look like a bunch of fools.
Do you believe that? I mean, they didn't even have a reason for why they're opposed to it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, we could have said so much stuff. They don't have a clue. It's just they don't like it, so they don't want you to watch it, period. No other reason.
Bob, let me promote you once again because I think that your show is so tremendous. It's this Saturday, December 16th.
That's correct.
Live from Denver, Colorado. There seems to be some kind of confusion about the starting time.
Well, that's because we're doing something really special. It was supposed to start 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So then when Tyson came along, and he's going to fight probably around 9 o'clock, so what we are doing is we are going to give you from 9 to 10 for free.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to check out the Tyson fight. But we're going to have Peter McNeeley down in Denver with us, and Peter McNeeley will tell you what it's like to fight Mike Tyson.
Right. Well, he should know.
Tell you what 89 seconds is really like.
Right, exactly. Let me tell you, I'd rather sit there and watch your show for 3 hours and watch...
You watch our show Saturday night, and you will truly see the greatest fighters in the world.
Now, Bob, McNeely's not going to be eating a piece of pizza on the show, is he?
I hadn't thought about that. It's not a bad idea.
Oh, there you go. As my second favorite, but I think Dan's going to take. I think really think Dan's going to take.
I agree with you. Dan's got a tough draw. His first match is going to be Pat Smith.
Wow.
And you know Pat is tough.
Yes, he is.
So he's got to get through Pat Smith. Now, if he gets through Pat Smith,
as my second favorite, but I think Dan's going to take. I think really think Dan's going to take.
I agree with you. Dan's got a tough draw. His first match is going to be Pat Smith.
Wow.
And you know Pat is tough.
Yes, he is.
He's Smith. Now, if he gets through Pat Smith, and if Tank Abbott beats Steve Jenham, then in the second round, Dan would meet Tank Abbott.
Now, that's something I really would want to see.
I'm going to tell you, I would pay just for that match.
Absolutely.
That is going to be unbelievable.
That'd really be something. I know Dan's training real hard out in Arizona right now.
That's correct.
And now, what about now? What's the deal with Ken Shamrock? He's actually going to be a color commentator, and is he going to face the winner of the Ultimate?
What he's going to do is he will be the color commentator in this one. In February, we are bringing back Kimo. Now, do you remember Kimo fought Royce Gracie in that Royce's toughest fight? and has not fought since. Well, he's been training in Hawaii and is returning specifically to fight Ken Shamrock. The winner of that match will then fight the winner of the Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Bob, let me ask you a question. We concentrate pretty much on professional wrestling here, and it seems like the buy rates on professional wrestling have continued to drop over about the past, year and a half. Why, with you guys, your numbers just seem to be on the rise. I mean, what is it about you guys that have made you so popular?
Well, everything goes in cycles, and you know how brilliant the wrestling guys have been. It goes without saying that they just did just sensational stuff for so long. But everything I was going to say in all businesses goes in cycles, and right now we are it. You watch one Ultimate Fighting Championship, and you are going to be a fan. You can't not want to watch it. And as I say, and you just said it as well, once you know these guys and you've seen them, geez, the opportunity to see Tank Abbott fight Dan Severn, and it's all for real, it is unbelievable to watch.
Well, as one wrestling aficionado once said, if it's not in the octagon, it's not for real. I got a question, Bob, and that is, how do you feel about all these so-called UFC imitators? There have been at least a half a dozen of them trying to capitalize on a road that your organization has paved.
Well, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I could do with a lot less flattery. We worked very hard to establish this, make this legitimate, make people understand what it is, and you don't need some fly-by-night guy coming along and, doing something if somebody gets hurt or something happens, and then everybody gets painted with the same brush. So while I am flattered that they're copying us, I wish they would just wait until the sport really matures a little more.
Bob, I didn't want to get too much into the legal situation, but maybe not everybody is aware of what you're going through. I know that when you were in New York last time, Senator Goodman and Governor Pataki jumped down your throat the minute you guys showed up in Buffalo and tried to have everything shut down. Now you're having the same problem in Denver. We know that show's coming off, though, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It is really the politicians misreading the people. And if you watch Larry King Live, there was so much misinformation by the senator. They talked about boxing being okay with the senator, and the senator said he saw somebody get killed. He was at a fight where someone was killed. A fighter died. Jimmy Garcia died in the ring that he was watching. He said, but at least there was a referee in there.
Right. That makes it okay,
That makes it okay, and I guess he doesn't know that, of course, we do have a referee in all of our fights, but it was such a strange thing to say. Yeah, there was a referee in there, so it's okay.
Well,
I don't know. The politicians, in my belief, think this is something that they can jump on, and people will like them for it. What they don't realize is how phenomenally popular Ultimate Fighting has become.
Yeah. Well, they like to rely on that term, human cockfighting.
That's just rhetoric and has nothing to do. They don't understand martial arts. They don't understand what's going on in the Octagon.
Mm-hmm. I know that there's a sport down in South America called Vale Tudo, which is in Brazil, which is more or less like a counterpart, maybe the predecessor to the UFC. But why don't you tell us about that and how you came up with the idea and so forth and so on for the UFC?
Well, it's interesting that this has really been going on for 65 years in Brazil in similar form, and even longer than that in Japan in similar form, and nobody's been injured. Now, I can't promise that record's going to stay. It is a very, very tough contact sport, and I can't promise you that no one's going to be injured on Monday Night Football. That's going to happen in a contact sport. But the facts are that it has not happened in mixed martial arts. We came up with the idea here when I was discussing with a friend of mine, Taekwondo, and the fact that Taekwondo, that we don't have mixed martial arts here, and as popular as martial arts are in America, you don't see mixed martial arts, and you got to admit, you want to see which one is better. And is it the man or is it the discipline? What really is the most important? Interesting, isn't it, that we've seen wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys who are winning?
Let me ask you something. Are there any precautions that you take to protect these fighters?
Oh, it's not by luck that no one's been hurt. As you know, they love to say there are no rules. But there are plenty of rules, and one of the rules is that each fighter is allowed to tap out, and that's a legitimate and honorable way to end a fight.
Absolutely. Bob, what about the Gracie family? I know they were very involved in the beginning, but how many brothers are there? There must be about 3,000 brothers, because every time you turn around, there's another Gracie brother.
Everyone's got a Gracie. There are different branches to the family and different second cousins, fourth cousins. But the really great Gracie is Royce Gracie, and we've all seen that. Royce is, sort of semi-retired, but I think he's going to be coming back soon.
On this next one coming up on the 16th, what's the first prize on this one?
$150,000, which, as far as I know, is the greatest prize ever in the history of martial arts.
Well, I'm ready to dust off my boots for $150,000. I'll tell you what.
If you've watched the UFC, don't be so quick.
I feel like I'm sitting next to Howard Gracie right now, as a matter of fact.
I could be an ex-brother.
Bob, what about the ring, the Octagon? I mean, a lot of your knockoffs have tried to copy you and come up with their unique design, but yours seems to work the best.
We did patent the Octagon, so that's why they can't use it. It was conceived so that it would, what we were trying to do, and when you go to study any martial art, you are told, here's how to defend yourself, here's how if a big guy comes at you, here's what you do, here's how you handle it. We tried to devise a situation where we could really see that at work. That's why there are no weight classes. That's why there are no rounds. This is a true fight. And we created, and this is, of course, with John Milius, who did Conan the Barbarian, we created with John Milius this concept of the Octagon.
Gotcha. Bob, I want to change directions for a second. Obviously, we were talking earlier about pay-per-view numbers and how the UFC is really the number one now with regards to wrestling, UFC/martial arts. What is the demographic of the people that are watching? Are they men? Are there women watching?
It is basically men 25 to 34, but there's a very large percentage of women, which surprises me. And, you had asked me before, what do I attribute it to? And I attribute the success, and I think also the popularity with women in that it is so real. And, sometimes you watch boxing, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the fight last night, and it comes down to a couple of judges making a decision that seems so out of whack. But it also, this guy Bota, who's never beaten anything bigger than a tomato can, all of a sudden is the number one ranked fighter. Nobody knows how that happens. No one knows how it really works. Here's a sport where it is mano a mano. Two men get in. This is as honest as sports gets.
What about UFC was in a movie recently?
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
It was in Virtuosity. The Paramount did it. It was a very big movie, very big budget. It was quite amazing, and they actually used a couple of our guys. They used Ken Shamrock and Bob Charles were all in it. Joe Charles, I'm sorry. And huge budget, great action film. Didn't do as well as I think they might have wanted it to do.
Bob, one final question before we wrap up. I heard, I think the senator said that you've now been outlawed in 36 states. Is that true?
Not that I know of.
Okay, that's a.
I was wondering where he was coming up with some of that
stuff.
Yeah,
it just seemed like some of the information was sort of haphazard. And any chance of coming down to Florida?
Yeah. The East Coast works best for pay-per-view because the timing is right. So, yeah, we would love to come down to Florida. You guys start a campaign for us.
Hey, we would love to do that.
And I'll tell you, somebody's got to start writing to these politicians and telling them you just are on the wrong note here, boys. Nobody wants it banned except you guys. You don't have any reason for